First off, this film is completely unnecessary. No, no one asked for this story to be told. Um, Let me just say, I'm a huge fan of the Nike story. I'm a big fan of Phil Knight's book, Shoe Dog. Uh, Enjoyed it immensely a few years ago when I read it, and always thought that that would make a great film. When I first saw a trailer for this one, I'm like, oh, they're finally gonna do the Shoe Dog story. They're gonna do the Phil Knight story, the founding of Nike. No, actually, this came a little bit later, right? This is them courting Jordan. No one asked for this story. It just seems it's like a smaller story within a big story. Not to say it's not a great story, but turning it into its own film, I'm not sure that was necessary. That being said, the film was fucking great. I really enjoyed it. It's just that I didn't. It's kind of like one of those things you don't know that you want before you get it. And I'm not even sure I wanted it, but such a stacked cast, wonderful direction by Ben Affleck. That guy's really proving himself as a director in the last however many years. He's really fantastic, man. Not only as an actor, but just overall, the guy just makes incredible films. But then also bringing in, his buddy Matt Damon for the, starring role of the film. I feel like it was a fun watch. Like I said, kind of unnecessary as a film, but 100% enjoyable. Like in anything with Affleck, Matt Damon, who's one of my favorites. God, Chris Tucker's in this. Viola Davis plays Mrs. Jordan. Jason Bateman as Rob Stresser. Oh my God, the cast alone makes it worth watching, and I think that they knew that when they were putting this out. Like they're like, we're gonna put everybody in this thing, and I feel like it pays off, man. Marlon Wayans makes an appearance. Oh my God, it's a wonderful study in performance acting. Like everyone in it is fantastic. And honestly, it was a fun story. Like I said, I don't know if it was necessary to tell this story in this format, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. Matt Damon is always great. Affleck as Phil Knight, God, it doesn't get much better than that. Like he casts himself as Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and I love the way he plays him. He's not the the bulldog upstart. He's not the guy who just has a dream and ambition and not much else, right? He's not that guy at this stage. He's been around for a while. He's been doing this for 15 years or so. And Nike has become like the premier running shoe, but has no foot at all, no pun intended, in basketball, in professional basketball. And they're being outdone by Adidas and Converse. And it's just so crazy that, in fact, the little snippet that they give you at the end, I love the little facts throughout the film. That is actually a lot of fun because it's some of the most interesting stuff. It's like, oh, I didn't even know that. I had no idea that Nike bought Converse in 2002. I didn't know that. I don't know how I didn't know that. Maybe I should have known that. But I thought Converse was still its own entity. I thought that, Converse All-Stars were just Converse shoes, but I didn't realize Nike actually owned them now. That's pretty crazy, especially when Converse was like the athletic shoe back then, like the basketball shoe back then, the Olympic shoe back in the 70s, or back in the 80s. That's so crazy. Anyway, great movie. Great movie. Everyone, like I said, the performances were fantastic. I'm really glad I watched it. Audiences seem to agree. This thing has like a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. What else? 4.4 out of 5 Movie Insider, 7.6 out of 10 IMDb score. It it was fun, man, and audiences agree. I especially enjoyed Viola Davis, which she's great in everything, dude. I watched The Woman King a few months back, and man, did that movie surprise the hell out of me. If you haven't seen The Woman King, go watch that thing. So damn good. But this was great. And I kind of loved how it was all about courting Jordan, but it was really more about courting Jordan's mother. And I like the real life clips. Like at the end, you have Jordan talking about his mom in a speech while she's sitting in the audience. But I love how, even though like Jordan is like the supposed focal point of the film, he's really not at all. He's like the big thing, in the film, but he's relegated to like a background character. He's just kind of like there in the background, and I love it. It's like, because yes, realistically, yes, that's who he was, right? He was 18 years old, in college, right? He was like, maybe he was 20 years old by then. I think he was 18. He was 18 years old, and he just cared about what shoe was the coolest. What are all the other NBA stars wearing? He didn't really care about all this contract signing and stuff like that. And it was just like made apparent in this film by him kind of being in the background, not caring. They've said several times that he didn't want to be there. They were forcing him to do. His parents were forcing him to tag along. That's just real, man. That's just real. Like, why would a college kid? Yeah, he wanted the car. He wanted the money, but he didn't care about all the logistics of the contract and whatnot. But what a stroke of genius for his mother to include in the contract that he would get a percentage of sales. Like, that made Michael Jordan one of the richest athletes to ever live because of that percentage in Nike. Like, along with all the other endorsements he had, but like, the money that the NBA paid him is like chump change compared to what NBA stars make today, which is crazy. But thank God for the endorsement deals that he got, and especially the Air Jordan deal, which still sells like billions of dollars per year worth of shoes. Like, that man just continually makes more and more and more and more money off of his own name, and I absolutely love that. Anyway, like I said, great movie. Great story. Didn't know that I wanted it, but now that I've seen it, I absolutely enjoyed it, and I'd recommend it to anyone. I'd love to hear what you guys thought of this. Let me know in the comments below, or you can reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok at RealBrettScott. And if you like this sort of thing where I talk about entertainment and pop culture, I try to do it daily. Just subscribe to the channel because that's what I do here. Or you can favorite or follow the Daily BS podcast wherever you get your podcasts. It's pretty much just an audio version of the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in that, please stick around, subscribe for more, and like this video if you enjoyed it. And if you decide to stick around and subscribe or favorite or follow the podcast, then I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks.